All right, Mad Hatters, welcome to a video here. And we have one of the stars of the show. Hatman is coming along beautifully, and that's partly because Drew Lane, music composer, arranger extraordinaire, has been doing the music. Drew, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, Adam. How are you, mate? Doing well?
I'm doing good now. We've both got our hats on because it's we're going to talk about Hatman today, the musical book that
Yep.
we are creating together, which is the greatest book ever sung, the greatest
Uh,
musical
and,
ever
and
read.
with and with the greatest music ever written, of course.
Greatest
I
music
don't
ever
know, but
written. So we've got high hopes for this of going from book to stage, page, and screen is how I like to think it's
absolutely.
going to be. So yeah. So Drew, first of all, this is sort of my email list, and people know me and they've signed up for that. But tell us about you. What do you do? Who are you? What are your
Okay,
skills?
so what are my skills? Well, so I am a composer, arranger, recording artist. I release albums, I produce albums for other people. I'm a teacher by the day, so I'm a primary school teacher. I've been a primary school drama teacher for nearly 30 years, so I've done a lot of
Oh,
teaching in that time. I've taught kinder, I've taught high school, I've taught university, so I've kind of been a jack of many, many trades. And I live here in sunny Melbourne with my wife and three kids. And, well, not kids anymore, they're teenage boys. And so, everything's a little bit more smelly than what it should be. But
oh,
that's
teenagers stink, man.
so, but yeah, so I've been writing songs since I was 15, and I'm not going to give my age away, but that's quite a long time now.
15
And
years.
so Yeah, well, yeah, I'd like to say 15 years. That'd be nice. Probably a little bit longer than that. But I've been writing musicals for just as long as well. So writing musicals is what I love doing, is what I'm really passionate about. And but you've got to earn a living and everything like that. So being a drama teacher is right in the passion zone. So everything I kind of do is in that world of music and drama. Um, and I've been on stage a bit, and yeah, it's just a great way to earn a living, is to, I guess, be sharing your passion for what you want to do and for what you love doing in life with other people. And so I guess at the end of the day, when I look, even if the day has been really, really hard, you look back and go, you know what, I'm in my passion zone, I'm doing what I love doing, and that's always a great place to be.
100%. And you write musicals for schools and school songs and stuff as well, don't you?
I do. So I've been writing youth musicals for about 20, 25 years now, and I've
Wow.
written about 20 of them. I think I've got 40 musicals all up that I've written, and working on more as we speak. But I also go out to primary schools. They hire me to come and write a school song. So I work with like year 4, 5, 6 students, and we put lyrics
Okay.
together and we brainstorm. And then we record the choir of the school, and it becomes their school song, sort of like leaving a legacy behind for the next
Yeah.
generation of kids to sing and all that kind of stuff. And I also go do concerts and workshops at schools as well.
Amazing. And if you follow Drew, and it's at Drew Lane Oz on Instagram.
Yeah, Drew Lane Oz, AUS. So Drew
Yep.
Lane AUS is
Yep.
on Instagram. And I've also got like a YouTube channel, which is Captivation Musicals and Drew Lane, where I put up my songs and stuff like that and little bits and pieces that I'm doing. And yeah, it's just, I'm out there on all of the socials, as it were. So there's got every time there's a new social, you just sort of go, oh, I'm going to sign up to that one because someone
Give
might
it a
find me
crack.
there. That's
Exactly.
right. Give it
And
a shot.
yeah, and if you do follow Drew, you'll just see literally just how busy he is. He's flying around here, he's going to schools there, he's Queensland, he's Adelaide, he's Melbourne, he's everywhere. So we're really, really lucky to even get him on board for Hatman. And what was so cool is when we chatted about it last year, and I can't
Yep.
remember when, maybe like mid-year or just after or something like that, and I asked you if you wanted to be on board, and you were like, and I said, look, I'm going to need the songs by April. Is that going to be doable? And he's like, well, as it happens, I'm actually taking some
Yep.
leave and I'm in the studio from November to Jet. Like it
Yep.
just worked out beautifully.
It was absolutely, it was perfect timing. And like, I mean, Adam, you and I, we actually go back quite a long way. Like, I think I first met you just around the corner from here at a market when the book you released was Better Out Than In, and it came with a CD.
Yep,
And,
yep.
I, and that would be about 20 years ago, I reckon, is where I
Oh,
first
bigger.
met
They're
you.
probably about 15. That one. Oh, it depends on which one. I think it was about 2007 that one
Yep.
came out. You got so oh gee, that is 18 years ago. Far out. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I
could
know.
be
I
up
know.
there.
So and then I think we reconnected. You were at Yarra Valley Market, I think, on one of
Yarra
your
Glen
last
Market. Yep.
market tours. Yep. And we started talking about Jackson Payne,
Yes.
and we put together a musical version of Erratically Epic as well, which still hoping at some stage in the future I'll be able to get off the ground. COVID sort of
Yeah,
came and smacked it in the face a little bit, but I would
really did.
love to
Twice.
get it off the
Three
ground
times.
because yeah, that's it. And I love Jackson Payne. He's a great character.
Yeah, he's super fun, super fun. And but yeah, now we're on to Hatman. So I wanted to ask you, even with Jackson
Yep.
Payne or the musicals, but like with Hatman, so what I did when I wrote it is I wrote the story, and in the story I started writing
Yep.
the songs, and I just wrote the lyrics. And I so a little songwriting tip that I found that for any songwriters out there is you have a song that you know, and usually one that you love, a song that you love. So I would listen to a song that I love, and I would listen to where the words were and where the words hit on the beats and everything, and I would just fit my lyrics to the lyrics on of those songs, and then at the end I would
Mm-hmm.
change them a little bit, but that's how I'd write the initial one, and that gives you the structure and everything like that. Then I'd send the lyrics to Drew, and you wouldn't know what song I'd done it to. And so
No, I had no
and
idea.
no, and no, no. So you just get these lyrics and you look at them. What's your first step to then start towards writing a song?
I think the
Music.
first thing that I do with the first thing I do with the lyrics is I try and find what the structure is. So find where the verses are, where the choruses are, and then like there may be a bridge or a middle eight or an aside like where other themed music might come in. But I look very much strongly for what is the structure of the song. And the moment I've got the structure of the song where I know like where verse one, verse two, chorus is, I can start piecing it together in my head, going, okay, this is how it's going to go. Then effectively what I do is I sort of sit at my keyboard in the studio and I just plonk my hands. And sometimes the song will come instantly,
Yeah.
like A New Leaf, which is one of the songs that Morgan Le Fay sings, immediately came to me. It was just there. It was so easy to find. And it just came out of my fingers and it's like, okay, let's just go with this. And I hit record on the computer and I'm just playing along. And a lot of the time I will sort of make it up on the fly. I'll have your words in front of me. And because I know the structure, I know, okay, this is the verse. This is what a verse is going to sound like. Here's the middle eight. So I'm moving into the chorus. I want to build up into the chorus.
Mhm.
And I'll literally just be sort of improvising. And I'll be improvising. And I've always got my phone on me. So I'll always have it recording so that if I don't necessarily remember what I've done, I've got a recorded reference that I can go back and go, what was that? And go,
Yeah.
that's right. And then sort of figure it out. So that's one way I do it. Another way that I do it is to really go old school, have like lined staves, you know, on a piece of paper and a pen, and I will note it
Wow.
out step by step, just sort of working through, going, okay, here's the melody. I think, no, I don't like that melody. It's trial and error. It's trial and error, and eventually it'll come together. That's how Mr. Bigwig song came about. I knew I
Mhm.
wanted it to be like an elvish doo-wop pastiche, but I wanted it to have a very particular melody, something that we hadn't necessarily heard before.
Yep.
Same with One Eye McGee. It was another one that I was like, okay, I know, like you, Adam, you had sent me a demo of what you had in your head. So I knew this is what I wanted to do, but I had to really score it out to know the structure and the flow in it as
Yep.
well. Whereas other songs, like He's Not Gonna Win, was just me sitting at the piano playing. I'm literally playing the piano. I don't know if you can see, I'm on the table. I'm playing piano as I'm doing it now.
No piano there,
It
Drew.
just,
There's no piano.
there's no piano, but it just was there. It was just there.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on the song. I don't write the songs in order. So I don't go, okay, I'm going to do the first song first and then I'll do the
Okay.
second song. I sort of go where inspiration strikes. And then luckily, particularly with Hatman, when it came to doing like the opening song and the big ballad duet between Harvey and Morgan Le Fay, there's a part in that duet that I'd already written. And I'm like, now I see. And it's about bringing in those other songs that I'd already done and putting them in there, because you want to keep those themes. You want it to the listener to go, huh, I see what he's done there. You know, there is Morgan's theme, there is Harvey's theme, there is Bigwig's theme. And so it comes through, particularly for the finale song.
Yeah.
I wanted to have all of that. So I couldn't really do the finale song until right at the end. And almost the opening as well was like that as well.
I love it. And a couple of things that were really important. The reason we thought we'd do this is to give people and teachers or kids or songwriters or writers just an idea of how some sort of processes work. And because
Yeah.
I would just realize how dark it is too. I remember here is it's just to sort of say, there's often we think there's one way to do things, and even you are using different processes yourself, let alone so you don't even
Yeah.
have that sort of one set way, but you've built up obviously all these techniques over the years. But a really important thing is following that energy. And
Yeah.
so I find that as well with my writing, in that if I get an idea, and Hatman was one of these ideas. So for people who don't know, I started writing this in 2011 and it just
Wow.
didn't work. I did, I don't know, I think 8 or 10 drafts and it just didn't work. And then 2023, I started writing and then went, it's a musical. And then bam, I had to follow that and it just flowed out after that. So following the energy and the stuff that excites you and the stuff you want to do is really, really important. And again,
Mm-hmm.
talking about processes, a lot of people sort of go, again, Hatman, I actually lost count of the number of drafts I've done, but it's in the 50s, I think, that I've done.
Wow.
But yeah, and so a lot of people go, oh, that book, you just wrote that, right? It's like, no, that's not how it works.
No, no,
So
no, no.
with music, how long? So to arrange one song, for example, just on an average, like obviously they're different, but
Yeah.
on average, about how long would it take to arrange the music for one song?
It's probably about a solid day. So one of the things that particularly when I'm putting a song together is, in my head, I just want to go piano and vocal. But the moment I've got the piano and vocal down, I can start hearing the bass in my head. I'm like, oh no, I'll just add the bass. And then I hear the drums. I'm like, okay, I'm going to add the drum. And then literally 4 or 5 hours later, I've got this behemoth of a song, you know, that's, you know, as you saw, Adam, you know, it can be up to 30 individual music tracks, you know, just all doing their little thing. And I can hear it all in my head. And thankfully, my head talks to my hands really, really well. And and the signals go through. And sometimes I will just play it and I don't even realize like that I've done it. It's like, no, 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 no. And I'll go, oh, that was cool. All right, let's keep that. Let's stay with that, you know.
Love it.
So the other thing is, as you said, like you could be up to 50 drafts. There are versions of the songs that will come out with the book that aren't the first versions.
Yep.
Like, again, if I think of the duet between Morgan and Harvey, there is a completely different version of that song that, you know, we talked about and we discussed, and we ended up going, actually, you know what, it doesn't work.
And I had to change the
sometimes,
lyrics as well. Like it was
yeah,
like the lyrics I'd written, I think didn't make it made it harder to write the song the way I'd sort of written it. And so yeah,
yeah,
and then I heard and that was actually really hard. So I I pretty much every song that Drew wrote, I would get it and I'm like, oh man, that is like 90+% there. Like a
yeah,
new leaf was basically there like 100 pretty much straight away, I think. But all
that's
the others
right.
like
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, can you maybe just tweak blah 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 blah. And then but with I Had It All, it was like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know
yeah,
what to do. And so I rang up Drew. I'm like, this is like a breakup call or something. Like it was really hard to say it, but we had to do it because we wanted to get
yeah.
we want to fight this final product to be like just A, the thing we've had the most fun doing, and B, just the best, most amazing thing we could possibly do.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be really cool if we have the opportunity to sort of release, this is what it was, you know, and then the before and after, and
Yeah.
the difference is huge. Like I think there's 3 songs out of the 11 that have alternate versions that are
Yeah.
markedly different. He's not going to win. Is it? He's not going to win, or
I Am Me.
I Am Me. I Am
Yeah, yeah.
Me. There's a whole version of I Am Me that is completely
So
different
different.
to what is, yeah, that's going to come out with the book. And there are I've got other songs that I sort of was just messing around with and I never completed. They're just uncompleted, sort of sitting in the bottom drawer of the hard drive
Right.
of other songs. And it's like, yeah, I even in myself, I'm like, yeah, maybe, but there was a moment like I always listen to my guts most of the time, and
Yes.
I go, okay, something's not right. And so I'll put it to one side. I might come back a week later, or I may even go on to another song, and I'll come back and go, okay, let me have another shot at it. And that's where I had it all. It was very much one of those. I did a whole demo. I finished it, sent it off to you, and I thought I liked it. I liked it, but I wasn't completely sure. And then you came back to me and you said, I want it to be like a big 80s ballad. And I've
Yeah.
gone, oh, yeah, I can do that. And that's where the new version, which is going to be in the book, took flight.
Yeah, and which was then when you sent that through, I'm like, oh, that's 90%. Like again, it
Yeah,
was like
that's
so,
it.
and what was interesting again with and know what's really important, I think, for kids especially, but and other writers and everything as well, creators, is no draft or effort is ever wasted. So there was
No.
something you did in the first draft, which was where you used sort of Harvey's theme and Morgan's theme, and even though it didn't quite work in that, and Harvey's one, we actually went, let's cut that whole thing out. But
Yeah,
then
we did. Yeah.
there's like two lines towards the end when they come together where they sing it in that tune. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And then that inspired
Yeah.
me to rewrite it, put in Morgan's, a little bit from Morgan's as well. And so it's never wasted. And even if you don't use anything, it's still writing muscle, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
it's still working on your craft.
Yeah, and you know what? There's probably a good chance that I'll come back at some stage in the future and listen to what I did and listen to the melodies I created with that, and go, you know what? I can use that for another song, or I can use it
Yeah,
here, or if I rework it. And I think the other thing about arranging songs and writing songs is that you will often make a mistake, but the mistake is correct,
yeah,
and you go, what? Like you'll be playing along, and you're like, my hands will go somewhere I didn't expect them to, and I'm like, oh, oh, ooh. Okay, let's play with that. And
yeah,
and I think that's where the opening song came from. The riff was not one that I anticipated
no,
for it to be, and it was just like, and I was just stuffing around, made a mistake, and I'm like, actually, no, let's go back, let's check that mistake, and the mistake was actually the right thing to do. So
that's so
it's a
cool.
fascinating journey through the whole thing.
Yeah, and what's really cool about that, and a lot of people will make the mistake and go, "Oh, damn it, okay, start again." But if you sort of go
No,
and go, "Ooh," some people might even do that and still start again. It's like just try it. Like I always think there's no
yeah,
such thing as a bad idea. It's just an idea,
no, I
and you
agree.
don't know if it's bad until you kind of pursue it a little bit, and it can lead to something just amazing. And I've been to a lot of improv comedy shows, and often you'll see a scene, and it's just kind of clunky, not working, and then one person will say something and the entire energy in the room changes and it takes and they
Yeah,
wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for that clunky at the start. So
that's
yeah,
exactly
it's
right.
really important, really important. So last I do have one last question before we wind up. We're just gonna do this nice short sharp one here, and we will at some point put up like before and afters of the songs and maybe
Yeah.
some little iterations in between as well. But so with Hatman, number one,
Mhm.
do you have a favorite character in the book that you wrote a
It's
song
got to
for?
be it's got to be Harvey. It has to be
Yes.
Harvey. I mean, I love
The
Morgan, but for
life.
me, it's Harvey. There is so much of me in Harvey. And so when it comes to writing for Harvey, it's like, I get this guy. I know exactly what he's doing. He reminds me, like, of me as a 20 something,
Right.
sort of like stumbling through life going, I don't really know what I want to do. Um,
Yeah.
and his fear of cats. We have two cats here at home. I'm not fond of cats, so I get the fear of cats. I totally do.
Oh, I love it. And do you have a favorite song? So there's 11 songs that are going to go with the
Yeah.
book. Do you have one that like just kind of stands out? You're like, oh, I could just listen to that over and over and over. Like, do you have a favorite? Like choosing a favorite child.
Oh yeah, that's really really hard. I think A New Leaf for me. It was the first one that I wrote, and when Maddie Featherby sung it, it was like, oh my goodness, this is just an epic song.
Yeah.
The song that Harvey sings at the start of the show, the second song I think it is, where he's
Yeah.
singing about how he got all the hats, is another favorite because oh yeah, the song's called "I'm No One at All," it was another song that has an alternate version. It has a completely different version. I
I don't
never
think I've
sent it
heard
to
that
you,
one.
Adam, because no, you haven't. I never sent it because I was unsure that I had the chorus right,
Right.
and I just I was. But once it was unlocked for me, and a friend of mine helped me get through that. It was like, oh, of course it's got to do that. The moment that I had that, it was there, and I just love the heart that's in that song. Plus the big ballad. God, I love a ballad. I do love a big
You
ballad.
really do.
I love a big ballad. So I cannot wait to hear Harvey and Morgan sing their big song together. I'm so looking forward to that. That one I'll crank and just let fly. So yeah.
That one's amazing. And I think I put a little bit up in the last video I did of you singing the demo. But what's super cool about that is it's you singing Harvey and Morgan's parts, but then for Morgan, it's your voice, but you used AI to turn it into a female voice. And it's it's no Maddie, but it's amazing.
And particularly for that demo, you needed the difference between the two voices. And it's the one time where I thought, I'm not necessarily huge fan of AI. I like the organic nature of creating it myself, but I just needed, I just wanted to have very quickly that female voice. So you had the difference. And I looked up on AI to see if there was such a thing, and wouldn't you know it, it was there. And I've gone, all right, let's see what this is like. And for a demo, it'll do just nicely. But Maddie will nail it and absolutely blow out of the park. She will bring the heart that's missing. She will just bring that heart, bring her vocals. Oh, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, going to be so good. All right.
And having said that, I cannot wait to get everyone's voices on He's Not Going to Win. Like 100 voices. I cannot wait.
So we are looking at 100 voices. So I'm going to put a thing in here as well. I'm going to put a link in an email to the email group of how you can record yourselves singing the song. So we would love to get 100 more, 25 million thousand people singing. It's the whole town singing, and we just want everyone. So we want to, and again, we don't want to because there are techniques you can use in recording just 5 or 6 people to make it sound like 100. We want to actually get 100. So we'll put a thing out about that. But Drew Lane, thank you so much for sharing your processes and everything here today. It's really cool. And I knew some of it, but there was some new stuff there. I just find it fascinating that through writing and music and we'll probably talk to James at some stage about his illustration process as well.
That would be cool.
And they're similar but different. So it's really awesome just hearing everyone's different process. And there could be 3 different people talking about writing a book, writing music and illustrating. And they could be totally different. And I kind of love that. Yeah. Like there's no right way, just the right way for you. So yeah, it was awesome to hear your process.
Excellent. No, look, and I guess the thing is, if anyone's got questions or anything like that they want to throw my way, I'm happy to answer them, about the process or what goes on in my head. There's a lot going on in this head.
Good luck.
So trying to figure that one out. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But I think you hit the nail on the head. There's no such thing as the right process. It's what works for you.
Yeah. So try stuff. Just try stuff and some will work, some won't. And it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means like, that doesn't work. And almost what you said with the songs as well. Like you might try, like some people like writing at night, some in the morning, whatever it might be, or some people plot, some people plan, some people do the line music, some just improvise. You might try and it doesn't work, but 5 years down the track, that technique might be the exact technique that works for you then. So you're going to change as well. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. You're going to stop talking. We're going to wind this up. But yeah, any questions for Drew, send them through. You can send them through to the email, wally@adam-wallace-books.com, or hit up Drew on Instagram and stuff as well for the parents. For the kids,
absolutely.
Socials. And and October 10th is Hatman time. Woo! So we're getting excited, getting very excited. Amazing. Drew, thanks heaps.
Thanks, Adam. Cheers, mate.
See ya.
Bye.